2.
Yeah, what's up? We're back. It's Beefy Boys Breakdown number 114. We're going over UFC Fight Night Strickland Cannonier. We have arrived to the main card. Main card had a lot of heat on it. All the bonuses were given out to the main card fighters. And you can agree, disagree, but I think it does speak to just the quality of the performances and how exciting this main card was to watch.
Yeah, man, no doubt. And honestly, not like for casual fans, aside from maybe Dober Green, the main event, obviously I'd say, I don't even know if a casual is gonna love Saruki and Ismagulov as a matchup.
You're right. That was for the hardcores, and that was a dope matchup. And
even Brundage Aleksejic is a fun matchup for hardcores because it's just like a wrestler that like openly tells guys like, yeah, I'm just gonna wrestle you, versus the guy that just like openly is like, I'm just gonna drop bombs.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a weird one. It was weird, but it was fun, and that's what starts the card off. So I'm glad you brought it up, man. We got Mikhail Aleksejic, minus 275, taking on Cody Brundage plus 210?
Plus 230.
Or was it plus 230? Okay, my own handwriting sucks. I apologize, but yeah, I actually didn't hate the Brundage plus 230 because, like you kind of alluded to, Oleksijic's what I thought was kind of one-dimensional, and it's just like this big power punch. It's a weird blend. He's a weird guy because he has like nuclear option power, but he's not necessarily athletic. Like those two things usually don't like Francis Ngannou, nuclear power, freak like NFL caliber athlete, right? Like I mean, almost every division, right? Alex Pereira, freak power, but also like that guy could be pro at whatever sport he wanted to put his mind to. Just freak athlete. It's weird. Oleksiejczuk has like freak. I guess like I don't know. I guess if you want to talk like Mark Hunt type power, like the middleweight Mark Hunt, just doesn't seem to be a plus athlete in how he moves or how he looks, if we're being honest. But just nuclear power. It's a weird kind of blend of fighter.
It's super weird, honestly, and like, it's like his takedown defense is bad, but his stand-up game isn't the worst. So, like, I don't know how to feel about him. Like, if he could have a little bit better takedown defense initially, he'd probably be a really dangerous fighter.
He's kind of, I don't know. See, yeah, because I was going to compare him to Semmelsberger, but Semmelsberger's a really good athlete. Like, he's weird. Like, a one-dimensional power striker that's not a plus athlete. Like, what do you do with that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a weird one. Let's get to this fight. This fight ends in the first round, only lasts 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Cody Brundage, he's a wrestler, right? You said it, he's going to tell you he's going to take you down, and then he's going to go out and take you down. He did that.
10-second fight?
Got it. First takedown attempt. And you're like, oh, shit. This ain't looking good for Oleksiejczuk. However, Oleksiejczuk showed a little bit of jiu-jitsu or a little bit of bottom game. He reversed the position.
Yeah, after about 2 minutes underneath, reversed it. And then, shit,
I mean, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's ever really showed us that before.
No, I mean, not
but
really.
It's a I think.
So a little before the halfway point in the round, he gets that pretty sweet reversal, gets on top. I mean, is in full guard. But
just
that doesn't fucking matter,
power.
Apparently, because his power is insane.
It's nuts. It makes no sense. Like, the guy, I don't even think he cuts weight. Like, I think he's like a chubby 185, and he just walks around eating Polish sausages and fucking just nukes people, dude. He's a weird fighter.
Something about Polish people and the way that their power works, like where they are surprisingly unathletic, like Jan Blachowicz. You know what I'm saying? Like,
see, but Jan looks athletic though. Like, this guy literally looks like he like works in like a deli.
That's fair, especially for being a 185er. Like, that's usually where
like those guys are jacked. Like, what other 185er looks like Oleksiejczuk? Like, there's none.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know what? I bet if there was a 175 division, he would make it, but he probably can't make that.
He probably could. Like,
I'm saying 170.
I'm saying he probably no. He's fought at 205. I know. So that's where you're basing this off of. The guy has 15 pounds to lose still, bro. Like I'm not being like a dick here. The guy's a dog.
Bro, you want to talk about pounds to lose? Let's bring up Chris Dawkins' name again.
he's the middle. Is he the middleweight Chris Dawkins? Like seriously, like just knocks out these like lower level guys, but isn't going to cut it at the top end. It's kind of the vibe I get.
That is the exact vibe I get, which I'm glad you say that because he gets the ground and pound TKO with like hammer fists and then just starts slinging lefts from like one leg up, one knee down, just diving into shots. And like it throws like three lefts over and over until he just knocks Brundage out.
And I'll say, I've said a lot of like honestly not so nice things about Alexei Jake. That was like plus plus, like his ground and pound. Like I'm not talking about the power's natural, yes, but like his ability to posture up, his ability to like know when and what to throw from that position, and then obviously the nuclear power comes with that. But like it wasn't just like he, like I said, he was throwing repeated lefts. Like I don't know, the ground and pound like was elite, like elite, and not just because of the power, like his ability to posture up on a wrestler, right? Who knows what he's doing on the ground. And just the ability to like, yeah, to get through. Because a lot of people throw a lot of ground and pound and it's hitting gloves and it's ineffective and it's,
he was hitting pure face.
Pure face. That's what I'm saying. Like he made it look easy and he made it look kind of clunky because he's old Sajek and it's like, oh, Donkey Kong smash. But like, I have a feeling there's a lot more going on than that. Like, I don't know. Like a lot of fighters struggle. They get this. How many fighters do we see have this top position and then are unable to get damage off? Like he's good at that shit, man. Like,
it's a really fair point, man. It's a great point, but I say we go ahead and keep it pushing these lightweights because this was honestly. Oh, Oleksiejczuk does get a bonus for his finish.
And he calls out Chris Curtis. Hold on, we got to touch on that.
That's a good point. It's a good point. He said he was ready for a ranked fighter. I hate Chris Curtis. Oleksiejczuk will come forward and strike, which is good for Chris Curtis because he needs someone to come forward because he absolutely won't because he's a pussy ass bitch.
Boring.
So right, yeah. So and I like Oleksiejczuk. Like if he's gonna talk shit and want to make the run, I love the call out. Like if you have the platform, if you
Chris Curtis is gonna strike with him, which means he could eat a nuke.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, no, I thought it was a good call out, like stylistically, because like I know everybody's like, oh, that's the 15th ranked guy. He called him out, but like. I think there's more to it. I think it's a good matchup for Oleksiejczuk.
Right. I think he sees himself as like, well, this guy's really not going to try to wrestle me, so like I just got to land my nuke on him, and like he's a counter striker, so like he's going to let me kind of set my offense up.
Yeah, seriously. No, I like it a lot. But yeah, let's keep it pushing because Drew Dober, Bobby Green was electric.
Fight of the night.
Deservedly. Ends in a finish.
Deservedly.
Still fight of the night. Doesn't happen that often. Usually finished. It's weird. We act like we don't like decisions, but then there's a rule where fight of the night goes to decisions. Like it's a weird thing that happens.
It's because of the way that this fight like goes for 8 minutes before the like final 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Final 13 seconds, you could even say.
So Drew Dober was a minus 155 favorite. Bobby Green plus 135 dog. That made sense to me.
Yeah.
And I love Bobby Green. I'm a Bobby Green fan. He's getting older. He's going to do things a certain way. He's a little bit small for the division with just these freak lightweights. That he's not a small 155er, but just the way that the guys in 155 are freaks. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know, but I'm a big Bobby Green fan. So I don't know, but the money line made sense to me. Drew Dober by a little bit. He's younger. He's more in his prime. He's bigger.
By the way, I just had a crazy thought.
Okay.
Can you imagine Bobby Green fighting Patty and just lighting Patty up on the feet?
Oh, bro, are you trying to make me fucking come right now?
Dude, because I'm thinking about the striking styles and how Patty would just like not try to grapple because he's just too arrogant and he would just get pieced. I mean, just whap, whap, whap.
He would get Holloway K'd or pieced.
Right, like bad. Like he would never get in on him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I just
want to put in perspective where I think I'm still trying to put in perspective for people where Patty Pimblett is really.
But that's no slap. But dude, I mean,
I'm just saying he's
Bobby Green 20. Did that to Drew Dober.
Oh, okay, great transition back to the fight because Bobby Green fucking embarrassed Drew Dober.
Drew Dober.
Was outlanded him 2-1, landed like 50 significant strikes in the round.
I have the word outclassed in my notes like about 4 different times, and this fight only lasted 2 rounds. Like
and
Bobby Green was putting on a clinic.
Are we going to put his chin up there for chin of the year?
Have to.
We have to.
Have to.
Well,
I
especially after his
mean,
fight before this one.
he ate so many shots and whiffed so many of his own. Like Bobby Green, like I said, I have the word outclass, masterclass. I mean, it was electric. Bobby Green was put on a show. Classic Bobby Green style. Like if you close your eyes and just think of Bobby Green, his hands are down, his head's moving, he's talking shit, he's landing straight shots. That's exactly what it looked like. It was the Bobby Green that you wanted to see, that we all wanted to see, and we saw it.
Exactly right, man. I called round one a masterclass in striking from Bobby Green. Like it was
That's what I'm saying. Like
insanely
Holloway
good.
Cater level of shit.
Right.
Now, granted, I guess for whatever reason, I literally actually explained it in my notes. I have a 10-9 Bobby Green, outclassed, damage. He was hitting and avoiding, classic Bobby Green. I was like, it would be a 10-8, but there was no knockdown or like wow moment. It was just steady. It was like a
Right.
volley of arrows.
Steady ass whooping.
It wasn't a catapult. It wasn't a nuke. Like nothing like Drew Dober never got wobbled. He never got dropped. He never got staggered. Like it was just like a flood of just like jabs and like 1-2s, but like measured. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just touching him up, but he touched him up so good that like if you gave it 10-8, you're not crazy. But they're just I was like waiting for like the shots to have like there was no gnarly cut, I don't even think, or like there was nothing to just make it the 10-8. Like I don't know, we're cavemen when it comes to 10-8. It has to be more violent, but like it was about as good of a 10-9 as you could possibly have. I
Only
don't know
thing
if you
that
saw.
saved it from being 10-8 was that Dober was able to just continue to stay on his feet and continue to return maybe one shot for every two that Bobby Green would land. And not to say they're the hardest shots that Dober would land, but at least he was able to return and stay without being knocked down.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's like the only reason it wasn't a 10-8. Like I can't find any other reason in my brain.
But it was such a master class. Like it's hard to like. That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to explain the like. We're describing a 10-8. Like it's a master class. It wasn't close. So one sided, but it wasn't a 10-8 because, like I said, there just wasn't that wow moment. But it's
Right.
about as good of a 10-9 as you could possibly do. Now round two was going pretty much the exact same way for about the first 2 minutes of the round.
Yeah, and Dober was even pressing harder into it. Like he was like, you could tell Dober was ready to walk through fire no matter what.
He's the real deal, man. Like mentally, like that guy's a fucking dog. He's another. He's like a
Savage.
Rafa Garcia, same weight class too. But he's another guy that's just like you. He probably would die in there.
I also
like,
think
if
Drew
he had-
Dober Patty Pimblett's super fun.
all these guys you're naming.
I think I lost you. Well, that's not good. Hmm. See if we can get Dominic back in here. You guys can't see that. Can't have that. Sorry about that, chat. No one paused the screen. I will kick you out. We'll let Dominic know. I'll go on my little rant here that I've been wanting to go on anyway. All right, just want to make sure this everything's the same here. All right, so rant time, right? And it's more just about the UFC, about their marketing, about like what's going on, man. Like I'm looking for the way that they're going to build stars, right? Because the old model, was that no rankings, anyone will just fight anyone, and we'll just get it going. Right? Based on fan popularity, so you pretty much only make the best fights because it's whatever the crowd wants to see is what the UFC pretty much was putting in order back then. So now where we're at today is they're owned by ESPN. ESPN's got a nut to make, so you got to put on so many fights per year. And UFC still, I mean, boxing is its ultimate death will be the fact that they don't do anything at all with fighters in their primes when they should be fighting, right? Like, where's Errol Spence Jr., Bud Crawford? Like, it obviously needed to be done last year. And so we're going to have to wait probably another year and a half. And then by the time we get it, both guys are out of their prime. And what was the point even? So, and thank God for guys like George Kambosos and other guys in boxing that are not going to let that happen at certain weights and are keeping it very entertaining, moving on. But for the UFC, we've now hit this point where Conor's not a star anymore. I don't know if that's breaking news. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Because his skill set, I mean, pretty much a billionaire almost whenever he sold the whiskey company, Proper 12, or his majority stake in it. Still has like a marketing agreement with him. He owns Black Forge Inn, which is like this nice steakhouse pub in Ireland that they also own. I think it's like a Black Forge Stout, something like that. So, which he's trying to take over against Guinness with. So he's literally trying to beat... Sorry, that's DMAC, everyone. So, the point is that with Conor not being able to progress his game because he's so rich that he doesn't really care about fighting because he doesn't need to... It's like he's passionate about martial arts. You don't have to take fights to be passionate about martial arts. I don't know if that's surprising for anyone. It probably shouldn't be. So, where that leaves you is the UFC kind of needs that megastar. And they thought they had it in Adesanya, but he started putting on these boring fights. And they thought they had it in Usman, but Usman's trying to go fight Canelo. He's really kind of an unlikable guy. So there's problems there. Can't really market Francis right now because you don't have him signed. Moreno Figueiredo 4, the fans aren't even about that. Let's be honest about the women's divisions. They don't even market their fighters. So all I'm going to say is that's on them. Because I think Zhang Weili and I think that Valentina Shevchenko and I think that Amanda Nunes are three of the best women in martial arts doing it today for their respective weight classes. Nunes being covered twice there. And I think middleweight is now going to be a lot of fun. I think it's easy to sell. Welterweight, kind of the same if Leon can defend the belt. That would be unreal as how that would open up the division. Lightweight, that's where your star is going to be made. Lightweight and featherweight. It's where your star gets made. Dom is back. I'm going to finish this point real fast because I'm going to deep in a rant. I went on a solo rant. I've been on a solo rant about a point I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. So, the problem for the UFC right now is that, like, who's the next big star they want to build? Right? Like, who's the next guy? And I think it has to come from this number one pound-for-pound fight. It has to be Volkanovski or Makhachev. And they pretty much got to start, like, dumping marketing into it. And if it's Volkanovski, they're in business, man. So, just to let you know where I was talking about how the UFC's problem for me recently is that they don't have a guy like McGregor. They don't have really the same Adesanya they used to have. The John Joneses of the world aren't there. Francis isn't signed right now, so they can't even really market him like that because they'd only increase his value and make it harder for them to re-sign him. So they've made this like problem for themselves where like the Conor wave like kind of fucked their model.
See, I disagree. And here's why. The big Conor wave, and I'm back, by the way. Sorry, my internet went out. And then I decided while it was down, I might as well have a couple bites of pizza. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, forgive me. But the Conor McGregor model, if you think about it, was pre ESPN Plus days, at least the early portion
Oh,
of it.
I brought up the ESPN needing their nut, and so we just have to put on fights now just to put them on so that ESPN can fill out cards.
But I honestly think it's more sustainable, and also my angle is off. Let me
The
get that
rankings
back.
also kind of fuck things up too because now it's not fan-driven fight matchups; it's rankings-driven fight matchups.
I think on the long, I'm not disagreeing with the single thing you're saying. I just think the long term that's more sustainable, and it's like it
Mm-hmm.
makes it more like other sports. It's just like it's all dope whenever we get a Lakers Celtics NBA Finals, but if it ends up being fucking Milwaukee Orlando, but Eastern Conference Finals, then hey, that's what we get. You know what I'm saying? It's like or NFL. It's awesome. Like if the NFC Championship ends up being like Cowboys Eagles, like it's a rivalry. That's a huge game, but it's gonna be whoever ends up there based off like merit and ranking and shit like that. So it's like I think the UFC every once in a while will get to have its cake and eat it too, just like the Niners and the Rams were in the or the Niners and Seahawks for all those years in a NFC Championship. Like you get the big names, the big rivalry, and it times out, but only if it like deserves to be that. You know what I'm saying? Like I think you get less of the big name super fights, but they'll still happen, and it'll be more special when they do happen. But also it allows like merit and like record and hard work and all and talent to really it's a meritocracy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So before we go back to the second round of Bobby Green and Dober, I do want to ask you this question. So McGregor is still like the star they want to push. Like very clearly, he's still the biggest money fight, which to me is a little absurd, and I kind of disagree with it. I don't like it, and I'm kind of over it. But I'm saying the UFC needs to be over it, and they need to start promoting like one or two guys to like really push to the top. And they have two guys that can easily do it, and that's your 45 and 55 pound champs.
Yeah, and they're fumbling the bag. It's kind of everybody's kind of like waiting on Shemaya, but I think they are fumbling the bag by trying to like invest it in Patty.
I agree, and we can dive back into it. I just had to get on my chael shop chair right there.
Yeah, for sure, brother. But yeah, so they said Bobby Green won the first round. He was well on his way, cruising to a victory in the second round, and just like a holy shit out of nowhere,
Nuclear left.
Drew Dober drops the nuclear left and knocks out Bobby Green. Not a lot of people. I mean, I'm gonna pull up Bobby Green's topology right now. Like, when's the last time he was knocked out?
Let's see. I believe I got it right here. Yeah, Bobby Green hard to finish by KO,
Hard to finish.
especially.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm getting at.
Well, I mean, did get TKO'd by Makhachev, but that was like one of those like had his
Yeah,
Dagestan like it was trapped and was just getting TKO beaten, like not a real like
that.
KO.
Yeah, that. Yeah, 100% agree. That's a different, honestly, a different category. Call me hater.
Oh, the only other guy to ever KO him like that in that sort of way, Dustin Poirier in 2016. The
Exactly.
only other guy.
Exactly. Exactly. Bobby Green's hard to finish on the feet. On the feet. Keyword being there.
Right, like
Um,
Jakar Close couldn't knock him out, Lando Venata couldn't knock him out, Moises couldn't, Fiziev couldn't. Um,
Fiziev is a big one. The fact that he didn't get knocked out by Fiziev, like if anybody was going to do it, it was going to be Fiziev, you would think.
Barboza couldn't. Like, there's plenty of very dangerous people
Yeah.
that just could not do it.
Which makes me ask the question: do you consider that fluky? Do you consider that just wrong place, wrong time? Do you consider that like Drew Dober's like really that
I
dangerous? So
think
watch
Dober's
out
power is like real power.
for real. Yeah, yeah,
I
it
also think
is.
he's
It is.
plus athlete, so I think that explosive launch, like if he can jump into a strike, like that's
I'll
bad
be
news.
I'll be completely honest. I'll be waiting for the latest Natty or Not episode, but that's a different conversation. Um, but
Bro, he's the Crimson Chin. Like, do you see the man's jawline?
also, all right. Let's just get to the fun part of this conversation. I mean, the knockout was plenty fun. Don't get me wrong, but we
The
don't have
call out of
highlight
Jalen
rights.
Turner, calling out the city of Los Angeles on the call out. So nice. So nice. Hey, people, take notes. Take notes on how to make a call out. And also, he's ranked 14 today. So, congrats to Drew Dober.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. Who's 15?
Grant Dawson. Another one
New
of the Patty
wave.
names we talked about.
I mean, it's hard to say Drew Dober's a new wave because he's been ranked before, but good for him for getting back in there. That's hard to do. It's what goes up must come down. Chael always says it, and it's like it's hard to go up, go down, and then come back up, and he's doing it before our eyes.
And Moicano's 13, and then you have 9 versus 12 and Sarukian and Ismagulov on the card.
Fucking awesome.
So like their new rankings come out from there. I don't want to give those away, but like,
yeah,
it's fun to back into lightweight again.
First off, I'm a Jalen Turner guy. Second off, I think I really want to see that Drew Dober Jalen Turner fight.
Holy shit, me too.
That's fucking great.
Double nuclear options.
Yeah, well, Jalen Turner and
different body styles and types.
Like, either guy could win that fight. For everybody saying, like, oh, Jalen Turner don't want that smoke. Fuck that.
Jalen Turner's the favorite.
Okay.
Like, minus 165, I have Jalen Turner.
Oh, I like it. I like the sports book, the H. Matty sports book. I'll take it.
Plus 145 Dober, minus 165 Jalen Turner. I think
because Jalen Turner's a problem for anybody, dude. Like, if anybody's a
Drew Dober's only like 5'7" or 5'8". That link's going to be a big deal.
Big deal.
6'3".
And, like, pretty good grappler, too. Like,
and Dober even alluded to it, said, that link looks like a problem for most guys. I want to try that problem. Like, the way he called him out was beautiful.
G as fuck. Love it. Love everything about it. We can keep it pushing.
Plus 14 versus 10 makes sense. Co-main on a fight night easy.
Ooh, sign me up for that fight night. I'll be right back. I got to be pissed real quick. I'm not going to lie.
Awesome. I'll introduce these featherweights. So, up next, we got Alex Caceres, who had been recently ranked at 15, but had fallen out. Plus 140, fighting Julian Juicy J. Erosa, minus 165. I like Erosa. This would have been a great fight for Erosa to win because he does have the loss to Patty on his contract in Cage Warriors. Patty kind of needs... Now, granted, this is featherweight, but Erosa has fought at lightweight before. So I could see Erosa maybe taking that fight and Patty accepting the fight on terms of, like, I want to avenge this loss. It's kind of a win for, like, a fight very much Patty could win. So I think there was a lot there for the UFC. And obviously Vegas liked Erosa in this fight. And I think that the odds are respectful here of Caceres' ability to have, like, flashy moments. Because all throughout Caceres' career, Bruce Lee is his nickname, we've seen him do really, really insane, like, martial arts techniques and throw, like, these high-level spinning kicks and just pretty much a plus athlete of a kind of a guy. But at the same time with Julian Erosa, you see this, like, super, like, Muay Thai, straightforward, like, buzzsaw kind of approach. So stylistically, like, we have a fun matchup here because, like, one guy's kind of like the loose, like, fluid striker, and the other guy's kind of like the straightforward, like, down the middle puncher that, like, is pretty good at grappling as well.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's in my brain, like my little brain simulations when I think of these fights, it's hard for me to imagine that Julian Erosa was actually taller than Caceres. Because in my brain, Caceres is this, like, rangy featherweight, which he is. But Erosa being 6'1" is wild.
Yeah, well, I believe he used to fight lightweight and has gone up and fought lightweight in the UFC and won there once before. So I think he is one of those guys.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, right. Like, he has the cut down well because he obviously doesn't have big cardio issues. We've seen him eat crazy shots before in other fights, late in rounds. So I think the cut for 45, like, he can do it, and it's not that big of a deal. What I was saying was that, like, where he was in a position to win this fight and potentially go up to fight Patty at lightweight. Like, I know that's the name everyone calls out, but here's why that would make sense. He has a loss to Patty that, like, he could be, and it was a decision loss.
Julian Erosa fought Patty?
In Cage Warriors. Years and years and years ago.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
He lost?
Or, I'm sorry, no, Erosa won, because Nad Narimani lost, and then Erosa beat Pimblett for the belt.
What?
Yeah. And
What?
lost someone else, and then Patty got it back from someone else. So he never avenged his loss to Julian Erosa.
What?
So it's like Erosa has the free ticket to get, like, the ride.
Damn, that's a game changer. That's a narrative.
Right, so a win here was huge for him.
Oh,
now, as it comes out.
The win. The what?
That's the problem. And I haven't gotten to it yet, but he does not win. And in fact, it gets finished.
Yeah, the left high kick.
Throws the left cross, followed with the left high kick on the one single hop step. It was beautiful technique. And it clearly caught Erosa. Like, it's always the strikes you don't see that hit the hardest.
Felder was saying that, like, the kick was kind of delayed. So, like, the timing was, like, off. Like, it was beautiful. Landed super clean. I honestly thought the ground and pound, I mean, I thought the ref should have stopped it. But
me too.
It ends up eating some ground and pound. Like, hey, guess what? Like, if somebody goes limp off of a head kick, it's over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Herb Dean, how intelligently was he defending himself when he was out cold, like, falling to the floor?
We don't need to see him shoot for a single leg. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was like, he could barely stand up whenever he was trying to get back up at the end, and it was like, yeah, Herb, because he's been out for fucking 15 extra seconds.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was bad. Like, he was, like, stumbling, walking back to his corner. Like, that was a bad look. Like, I hope Eros is okay. Like, real talk. Like, as a guy who's had concussions, man, like, good luck to you, man. It's a roll of the dice.
Right. Now, I think the big point here is Caceres had been ranked at 15.
Yeah, I was shocked to see he fell out of the rankings. Did he lose? He fell out of the rankings without losing, correct?
What's that?
He fell out of the rankings without losing? Because you were saying I thought he still was 15, but he wasn't. He was ranked 15th forever. Yeah, now he's back. Now he's back. So cool.
Yes, yeah. Newly back this week. I cannot remember who had replaced him. It was someone that I thought was like semi-deserving of the position, though.
He literally, like, was out of the rankings for like 2 weeks. It feels like.
Right. Yeah. No less than 2 or no more than 2 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At most. So
yeah.
Good for him. Now, perfect gatekeeper for top 15.
He really is, and he reminds us every time because I'm an Erosa guy. I bet Erosa many times and won. I like Erosa, and I still do. Granted, like I said, I hope he's okay. I hope he can bounce back from that. It was bad, but Caceres is no joke, man. I mean, he's not the most active guy. He's not like some vlogger, YouTuber. Like, he kind of keeps to himself, does his own thing. I don't think he fights out of a big camp, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he's just kind of off doing his own thing, and it kind of limits his marketability. But when you said perfect gatekeeper, he really is, and that sounds like a backhanded compliment. Take it for what it is. I don't think he's a future champ. So by definition, anybody who's in the rankings and not a future champ, kind of a gatekeeper, right? I mean,
he just specifically sits right on that 15 line. Like, if you can beat him, you can be a top 15 featherweight. That's essentially who he is at the UFC, which you have to have those guys.
Yeah, no, he's dope, and he gets a great performance. I just had to get a bonus, right?
Yes, he does get a bonus, and that does conclude the bonuses. So all of the bonuses get paid out to 4 fighters. Fight of the night, 2 finishes in the first 3 fights.
Man, that's tough. I mean, so I'll give it away. Albazi gets stiffed.
Yeah, because he has the late replacement against the guy that's like has his second fight in the UFC. And he's number 8.
Debut.
Okay, gets a debut guy.
And he fought a debut guy,
and he's number 8, and he's a killer. Like, that was fucked. Now, granted, late replacement, so whatever. But
and apparently, according to Albazi, and I believe it, a lot of people turned down that fight.
Yeah, yeah. So let's wrap the Caceres fight up here. I think we pretty much got that one licked up. Pushing on to flyweight here. Number 8, Amir Albazi, minus 425 against late replacement Alessandro Costa, making his debut at plus 340. That being said, Costa not the worst.
Oh, the fact that he took that fight on short notice against Albazi as a debut, the guy's a dog. Earned my respect. Like, seriously, like I would love to see him with a full camp against like a Cody Durden.
Right. No, that's how I feel. And, like, the first round, clearly I thought Albazi won 10-9, but, I didn't think he did that much damage to Costa. I thought Costa looked pretty solid. Like, I was like, okay, well, I mean, I was making fun of it.
Round one was a fucking snooze fest. Let's be real. But you're correct. I gave it to Albazi as well.
Well, 2 judges gave it to Costa.
Well, it's a snooze, so I really don't give a fuck. Sure, give it to Costa. That round sucked.
Well, then maybe I'm crazy, but in round 2, gets the knockdown and then has 4 minutes of control. I thought he had damage dominance duration.
You went 10-8.
I did, yeah. No judge did. They all went 10-9.
I went 10-9. I actually like how you fucking let your nuts hang there with the 10-8. Seriously though, I respect it. I think if MMA wasn't so weird, if we're being literal, I think you're probably right with the 10-8. Whatever it factor my caveman wants for a 10-8, I didn't get.
The brutality isn't there. Like, the ass whooping isn't there.
I don't hate your 10-8 because you have a solid point. Yeah, 4 minutes of control. That's in my notes. With ground and pound. That's in my notes. The knockdown. That's in my notes. I mean, on the feet, on the ground, damage, dominance, duration. Don't hate it. You're not crazy.
So I have it 2017. Every judge, or no, I'm sorry. One judge is at 2018. The other judges have it 1919. So this fight's tied. This fight does not feel like a tie going into the round three.
That's ass. That's ass. I like your scorecard more than theirs. I'll give you that much.
Okay, see, yeah, that's where I'm at too. Is it's closer to 2017 than it is 1919.
I agree. But I'm an Albazi guy.
Now, as it continues, Albazi does find that nasty KO shot. What was an uppercut? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what made it so fucking sick. And also, I thought he deserved a bonus. Like, all right, you knock a guy out with like 1,000,000 ground and pound, whatever. Dude, a fucking uppercut is slick and looks good.
It was slick too, like the way he launched it underneath.
No, it was beautiful. It was sick, man. That's what I'm saying. I thought it deserved a bonus. I mean, you could factor in the opponent. I think the opponent's going to age well. I think this is the guy that 2 years down the line, this is a pretty good fight.
I definitely thought at the holidays they might throw one more out there for this one, but Dana was not feeling good with the duffel.
No, Dana's feeling stingy. But yeah, I liked Albazi's performance. I liked his knockout. The uppercut is badass, slick. You could argue quality of the opponent, but he said, I think Costa's pretty fucking good, honestly.
Now, for Albazi, he does move up one ranking here to number 7.
Who did he jump?
Matt Schnell, because Schnell had held his spot for his loss, but now they finally were like, well, you lost and this guy won, so probably going to flip you. Makes sense.
Great. I'm cool with it.
Now, the question is, who does Albazi fight next? Royval, Perez? Probably Perez, right? Because Perez pulled out of his last fight.
Yeah, I was about to say Perez. He was scheduled against Perez, so that makes all the sense.
Oh, that is
world.
Yeah, he pulled out of this fight. So, yeah, you just fight those guys. 7 versus 6. It would have been 8 versus 6. Really no different.
It makes all the sense in the world.
And then if Albazi wins that, he can start calling for top 5 like it's guaranteed. So.
Yeah, top 5, man. I mean, Royval's been sitting on that spot for a minute on some L's.
Albazi's pretty much 2 wins from a title shot, if you think about it.
I agree, because, I mean, Nicolao's right there. I think they're kind of pushing him more than Albazi, but maybe not. Kai Kara France the UFC would love to have Kai Kara France be champion. Pantoja might be the best. Pantoja's probably the best, like, skill for skill out of all of them. But Albazi does have that, like, it factor, man. That mean streak, like, he's a fucking dog. Like, he has the striking, the wrestling, the cardio, the attitude, if you will. Like, that's the mindset, some people would call it. Like, just I like what he's made of, you know. I said Pantoja seems very, like, skilled, very technical, but I don't know, like, Albazi's probably more of a dog.
Yeah, that's my thing with Albazi is, like, he has that, like, never say die kind of mentality. And he's kind of brutal in the way he fights too. Like, I like him, especially at flyweight, where you don't see a lot of guys that kind of have that, like, devastating kind of striking with good grappling. Like, that's kind of what put Figueiredo at the top, right?
Well, honestly, it's weird. The fight that comes to mind, which we're maybe one fight away from this being a reality, but, like, Albazi Moreno would be so fun. So fun.
And we're probably close to it, man, because I think Albazi beats, if he fights Perez and beats him here soon. Right? I like because Albazi took almost no damage in this fight, so it's not like he's going to have to be out long. And, like, for whatever Perez pulled out for, I don't think it's like a long-term thing.
Because like
So
Perez and guys like that have been camping on those spots for a hot minute and didn't do shit with the opportunity.
right, and if Albazi has a good showing against him, you probably give him, number 4, number 3, since he'll be at number 6, 5 at that point, depending on what happens with Nicolau, because Nicolau is obviously going to get a good fight, and then I think Pantoja fights for the belt. So
But
Car France,
Albazi and Nicolau are like the new wave.
yeah, well, and I know Pantoja's been there, but like he did look so good in his last fight, man. I don't think we can just pass him over.
Oh, I love Pantoja.
So
Pantoja's, yeah. No, I feel you. But I'm saying that's why, like, I'll be real, bro. I am not juiced for Moreno Figueredo for it. It's probably going to
I'm
end up
not
being
either,
fun
man.
because, like, there's other guys, man. Like they're making this fight like there's nobody else, but there is other people. And let's not forget, Makayev is probably 3 fights away, 2 fights away. I mean, by 2024, Makayev's going to be in this conversation.
Well, and like it's unfortunate for guys like David Dvorak and stuff or Matt Schnell because like they're probably next up for Makayev and like he's a stylistic nightmare for those guys.
Yeah, sign me up, man. I'm all in on Makayev. But let's keep it pushing, man. We got some absolute lightweight young lions coming up. We got Arman Sarukian, minus 190, ranked number 9, coming off the very controversial, it was a split decision to Gamrot. And you've seen what Gamrot's going on to do. And then he's fighting Demir Ismagulov, who's 24-1. I mean, that is
Yeah, what a record.
Yeah, insane. Plus 160, ranked 12th in the lightweight division. And they did a good job of marketing this and kind of promoting that, like, nobody else would fight them, so they fought each other. And, like, they had trained together in the past. And I think there are plenty of bigger names that didn't necessarily want to fight these guys. And I do respect that they fought each other. And I think Sarukian just proved – everybody's been saying Sarukian's the dark horse or that next wave or –
He's fought Makhachev better than anyone else that's still active in the UFC. That's for
what
damn
everybody
sure.
says. That's what everybody says, and there's definitely something to that. And so, and Ismagulov, 24-1, like now he's known for winning decisions and not necessarily being explosive or electric. So he's definitely taken like the slow way to the top, and but also has looked pretty goddamn invincible. So I mean, I was absolutely stoked, but this was one for the hardcores for sure.
Yeah, and I'm just looking here at Ismagulov's record. His only loss in his career comes in 2015 in a decision at M1.
Well, that's 7 years ago, dude. I mean,
right, and he makes his UFC debut in 2018, and if you listen to his wins, like Alex Gorgies, no one knows. Joel Alvarez, that's a good win.
That's a good win.
Thiago Moises,
great win.
Rafael Alves,
good win.
Kutateladze,
great win.
Right, that was his last win. That was in June, with split decision, so great fight. And as I do recall, it was a really great fight. But he also he was finally at the point right now where rank 12 pretty much was like, this was the fight they gave him, like, are you elite? And like you said, everyone was turning him down because they're worried about it. Well, same as Sarukian. No one wants to fight him. And Gamrot's not afraid of anyone, which I think the UFC appreciated, and that's why they gave him the last matchup they gave him. And at the same time, I do agree with you that Sarukian has grounds to stand on to say he did win that fight as a split decision loss. So,
yeah.
A fun matchup, I guess, is what I'm trying to build here.
Like, no, for sure.
Sense on earth.
But I'll be real, bro. Once
this fight
started, Sarukian, I mean, let's let the cat out of the bag here, dude. Fucking Sarukian showed out.
Yeah, I don't even think we need to go round by round necessarily. We can just, because it's the same thing every round. Sarukian out-grappling the grappler and then being able to do more damage on the feet in the transitioning periods as well.
Yeah, because Ismagulov was thought to, like, be the guy that, like, didn't want to strike with Sarukian, right? Like, he needed to grapple, keep it close, take him down.
Ismagulov got blanked.
He was getting taken down. He was getting outstrike on the feet. I mean, it was like, it was light work. I thought round 1 was the closest round. Round 2 and 3 really weren't close. No, I don't even know. It's not to Ismagulov's credit. I guess it's to Sarukian's credit. He was kind of playing it safe, I would say, fighting smarter, not harder. Like, there was no 10-8 rounds. He never really came close to getting a finish. He fought a smart fight. I didn't think it was snoozy.
It was a little snoozy, but it was like a grappler's paradise. Like, if you could appreciate grappling, that wasn't a snoozy fight because there were a lot of transitioning, good technique being used from both guys.
100%. And I personally enjoyed it, but I'm saying as a guy who's trying to break through, tough sell. You know what I'm saying?
Especially as your co-main event.
Had to mention it.
You know what else sucks? Sarukian's a great striker. Like, he can strike on the feet as well as he can grapple, as we just saw. But at the same, like, it's crazy to think Strickland just grappled this well, man. Like, I don't know if you were as blown away by it as I was, but, like, his ability to press the guy that I thought was the better grappler and not even have to use his striking, which he clearly was better with, was impressive as hell to me.
No, it's super impressive. And so now you're like, what do you do next? Oh, RDA just fought, right? So, I mean, he's ranked above Sarukian. I feel like that's a weird matchup. That's probably off the table. Him and Gamrot just fought. That's who's at 7.
I kind of want Fiziev.
Fiziev makes a lot of sense, but also if you're Fiziev, you're right on the cusp of a mega fight. Do you take that Sarukian fight? You probably do, especially if it's a fight night main event. But you see what I'm saying there. Like, Fiziev is right on the cusp of a Chandler or a Gagey or a Poirier. Now, Sarukian's been calling for Oliveira, and some chody fucking Instagram and MMA accounts are like trying to get behind this idea. It's Dariush Oliveira. Don't fucking rob me of that. I don't even care. Right. Sarukian Oliveira, that's sick too. But like, I was like legit getting mad at my phone because I kept seeing these like MMA accounts trying to be like, oh yeah, let's get the Sarukian Oliveira going. I'm like, dude, if you rob me of Oliveira Dariush, I'm coming for you. Like,
this division gets so interesting, man, because like, what do you do now? You know, like, who does Gaethje fight? Who does Poirier fight? Is Poirier just going to sit and wait for a shot at the belt?
Probably, but that's such a bad matchup for Poirier. Gaethje is the guy, in my opinion, has to fight. I think you do Gaethje Fiziev or Gaethje Gamrot.
I think it's Gaethje Fiziev. Or no, I think it's Gaethje Gamrot and Fiziev Sarukian.
I mean, I'm here for that. Fiziev probably isn't here for that. Like, if I'm Fiziev's agent, I'm probably like, we're getting the short end of the stick here.
Yeah, he's the one guy getting fucked.
It really depends. It really depends if you're Dana, and I'm asking you this question. You put on your fucking bald skin cap and fucking answer this question for me, Dana. Who is the guy you are trying to build? Because, I mean, sorry, that's part of this conversation. Would you, like, essentially the question is, who would you rather see be your champ one day? Is it Fiziev, is it Gamrot, or is it Sarukian?
I have a feeling. Three of them, but I think Sarukian's the easiest one to build, being the youngest with the most diverse skill set.
I think Gamrot's the hardest sell. I think Gamrot's the guy you shaft. As much of a, like I said, if I'm Dana, if I'm thinking like Vince McMahon, like who's the least marketable, who's going to sell the least amount of pay-per-views? Now, I'm not. That's the dirty side of this sport that doesn't happen in NFL and NBA. But
so like, what? You do Fiziev, Gaethje, and Gamrot Dos Anjos, and then let Sarukian get the winner of one of those two, or like the loser maybe of the higher rank matchup?
It gets weird. Maybe you throw Dan Hooker into the mix if you are trying to build one of them. Like you could, like, it's weird. It's all fighting backwards. But I'm saying if you do Sarukian and Hooker as a way of like building Sarukian's name.
I don't know if he needs the name build necessarily, because like his main event with Gamrot was such a great fight that he got a lot of pub from that.
It just depends. I guess it really depends if they like how much they fuck with Fiziev, right? Because if Fiziev's the guy they want to be champ, they're gonna give him Gaethje. But if that's not what they are trying to do, then maybe it is a Gamrot, maybe it's a Sarukian. But it just depends if they want to use Fiziev as a gatekeeper or if they want Fiziev to be the next champ.
Well, and Fiziev's last win was over RDA.
Yeah, great win.
And then RDA's most recent win, obviously, was Barberena, but was coming off the loss before that. And Barberena doesn't really mean shit to me.
Especially in lightweight.
Right, so it's almost like I think RDA deserves the shaft here.
Yeah, fair.
But, like, who gets shafted for him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work? So, like, Sarukian beats RDA.
Sarukian
like, okay.
and RDA. I think, but that's another fight night main event for sure.
Yeah, that's true, and I think it's a fun fight. The Fiziev Gaethje, and then Gamrot Chandler actually be a lot of fun too.
Yeah, but Chandler is on the McGregor fucking bandwagon. Like he's in, I think for good reason. That's the fight I want to see McGregor take.
I mean, Gamrot Poirier is fun too, but Poirier is such a bitch, you wouldn't take that.
He wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take it. That's why it's whack.
Well, anyway, fuck it. We'll see what
Let's
they
keep
do.
it
I think
pushing.
that's one of those situations where they're not really going to go wrong because they have a 5-man pool of options and all 5 are kind of sick, minus
But-
Gamrot as far as the build.
Somebody needs to extend the ladder down, and it's either going to be Gaethje,
Has to be
Chandler.
Gaethje. He doesn't deserve not to.
It has to be Gaethje. So like that's the golden ticket. Who gets the Gaethje fight? That's what you got to decide.
I think it's Fiziev. How does Fiziev not deserve it? Fought back and beat 8 this last time at 6. How does he not deserve to fight up at 3?
Oh, I agree, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like if the UFC has it in their head that they'd rather have Gamrot or Sarukian be the guy, they could make that.
And Dariush Oliveira's sick too.
You have to do it. Don't rob me of that.
That one I'm not like I'm locking those two, so that's why I won't even talk about them.
Me too. 100%. 100%. Let's keep it pushing. We got a main event on our hands. Sean Strickland, plus 100, ranked number 7, fighting Jared Cannonier, who I didn't realize was 38 years old, minus 120, ranked number 3, middleweight. I mean, you could argue that this was a number 1 contenders fight in a lot of ways.
In some weird ways. Maybe not so much for Strickland, but definitely for Cannonier.
I think that's fair. I think that's
now,
fair.
granted, if Strickland was to walk in here and stop Cannonier in like round 2,
that's what I'm saying.
And we are talking about like, well, maybe Sean Strickland needs to get that little rematch. Like maybe Pereira just caught him and like we need to see where he's at. Or a Strickland Whitaker would probably be what you would do.
Or Strickland Izzy.
Because well, Izzy's gonna get that rematch, I think.
I know.
But then Whitaker, if he's not fighting Costa, who's he fighting? And
also,
if Sean Strickland were to have gotten an impressive win, he hasn't fought him, so it would have been fun. Like Whitaker, or like Cannonier's fought Whitaker, and he's not going to beat him. Stylistically, he just cannot do that.
Yeah, for sure, man. And so this is actually a fight where round by round super duper matters. I mean, it does go the distance.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought the final 3 rounds, in my opinion, just doesn't really give away anything. I thought rounds 3, 4, and 5 were all coin flips, and so that's why. No matter who gets this decision, I thought no robbery happened. I thought rounds 3,
so you
4,
know,
and 5 were coin flip.
Just so you know, no judge has the same scorecard.
I'm interested to see if we have the same scorecard.
And
we
in
haven't
fact,
discussed this at all off air.
In fact, one judge has complete opposite. Every single round that Sal D'Amato scored for one fighter, Derek Cleary scored for the other fighter. Every single round.
And this was that kind of fight. Now, I'll be real. I thought rounds 1 and 2 had a clear winner.
I thought Cannonier won round 1 easily.
I thought Sean Strickland won easily. So here we go.
Oh,
here
no.
We fucking go. Here we go. Yeah, dude, round 1, I mean, Sean Strickland caught the kick, got the takedown. He was landing that jab, and I thought he avoided Cannonier's power. Cannonier didn't really land clean in round 1, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I scored 10-9 Strickland round 1.
Okay.
Round 2 I had to Cannonier. I read it backwards.
Okay. Well, in all fairness, so I literally have my notes. I was like, I gave round 2 to Sean Strickland 10-9. I honestly thought he was cruising. He was just jabbing. He was hitting and not getting hit. Now, I did note down that Cannonier in round 2 landed a bunch of good calf kicks. But it wasn't like no Ankalaev calf kicks. It wasn't like it compromised him. So Cannonier was landing calf kicks, but, I mean, they weren't really affecting Strickland. And I thought Strickland was working. And
I thought Strickland's jab really didn't come online in the second round until the second half of the round.
Fair, but I'm saying.
But I thought Cannonier did good body shots, landed a cut like 2 of the 2 biggest punches in round 2 were Cannonier's shots. but he just wasn't landing at the most effective clip.
Yeah, I thought he got outworked, but yeah, no, I mean that's interesting because I thought rounds 1 and 2 are pretty clearly Strickland, but that
Weird.
that just goes to show.
So check this out. So 2 judges have it 2018 Cannonier. 1 judge has it 2018 Strickland. I have it 1919.
And no judge has it 2018 Strickland. So
No, one
nobody
judge
agrees
does.
with
One
that.
judge does.
Oh, okay, one judge does. Okay, so yeah, that's how I was seeing it.
Okay,
I
now
like
how'd
Strickland
you see
too.
round 3?
Now round 3 is where
This is
it
going to
starts
be the
get
determining
real.
round for the most part and how you get these weird scorecards, by the way.
See, I thought rounds 3, 4, and 5 were coin tosses. Like I literally had a hard time scoring round 3, 4, and 5. That's why I thought nobody got robbed. That being said, I scored round 3, 10-9 Cannonier. I thought he landed the biggest, hardest shots of the fight to that point
Me too.
in that round.
Granted, Strickland started to check the leg kicks in round 3, and his jab was still firing.
And I think Strickland, by the numbers, won round 3 with the volume. So,
But the damage, I thought, was to Cannonier in round 3.
Me too. Me too. I agree with that. So I have it, what is that, 29-28 Strickland. You have it, what, 29-28 Cannonier after 3, right?
Right. Now check this out. 1 judge has it 29-28 Cannonier after 3 rounds, but doesn't have the same scorecard as me. Different rounds. She gave 3 to Strickland, but the first 2 to Cannonier.
What? Fuck that scorecard.
Right. 1 judge has round 3 to Strickland, as well as 1 and 2, so he has it 30-27 Strickland. So it's not even close.
I don't hate that according to my books, but that does get weird.
1 judge has it 30-27 Cannonier at this point.
I don't love that, obviously.
Right. Because, like, I thought the
I'll
first
be real.
round...
I like your scorecard more than I like the judges' scorecard so far.
Right, and 1 judge has 29-28, but gave 3 to Strickland and 1 to Cannonier. That
That's
doesn't
what I'm
make
saying.
sense.
I don't like that.
Right, like 1 to Strickland and 3 to Cannonier
Your
makes
scorecard is
way
literally
more
my
sense.
your scorecard's my favorite other than my own. Like real talk.
Okay, now round 4, once again, judges not going to agree here.
We probably won't either. I thought round 4 was once again coin flip. I gave it to Strickland. He was Strickland up until the 4th round was mainly just jabs. In round 4, he's letting that right hand fly, stringing together the 1-2s, the combinations. I thought he was able to get his power shots off, combined with the volume, but instead of just jab volume, it was right hand volume as well. Now Cannonier at the end of the round landed some big shots. And if you want to say he stole it with those big shots, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I didn't see it that way. I thought Strickland did enough, like started landing bigger shots, was throwing more combinations. The front teep was starting to land more, I thought, in round 4 for him.
Yeah, good point.
And continued to check leg kicks to the point where Cannonier's leg kick output was going down as the fight went on. So in that round, I did see it for Strickland. So I have it 38-38 through 4.
Yeah, so we both gave round 4 to Strickland. I think that's important to know.
Right. Now, the 1 judge that had it 30-27 Cannonier gave that round to Cannonier. Or the one judge that had it 30-27 to Strickland gave that round to Cannonier.
That's weird.
It's right. So he has it at that point 39-30.
These scorecards make no sense.
39-37 Strickland on 1 scorecard, right? So he's won 3 out of 4 rounds, but somehow lost round 4, but won round 3 or 2. 1 scorecard has Cannonier up, or 2 scorecards have Cannonier up 39-37, but those 2 judges disagree on round 4. The judge that had it 30-27 to Cannonier scored round 4 to Strickland. So if that doesn't tell you Strickland won round 4, nothing would.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think Strickland won round 4. I think that's important to know.
Now the judge that scored round 3 to Strickland scored round 4 to Cannonier.
And that's the exact opposite of what I had.
So right. So I'm just like, what is going on? Now, to be fair, this was a hard fight to score.
Well, it was the classic kind of philosophical volume versus power. I mean, it really was.
Yeah, it really was.
So,
all right,
it was subjective.
Now, final round here, because I have it tied 38-38.
Yeah, well, round 5, I kind of caveman judge it. Sean's nose got busted. Cannonier, I gave it to Cannonier.
I did as well.
The damage, like he cracked first, right? Like Sean, as much as he was touching up Cannonier, never really did any visible damage. And I know that's like a caveman way to judge, but there was no cuts, there was no busted nose, there was no busted lip, there was no, Cannonier was pretty much just fine, honestly, if we're being real, even though Sean was kind of touching him up. That's why Cannonier, I do feel like won the fight because he
I think he
did
did
more
win the fight. I
damage.
thought it was crazy. Sean
Like,
Strickland was saying he got robbed. Crazy
like,
to say that.
like one championship rules, Cannonier won. No, I'm saying this. My scorecard comes out 48-47 Strickland.
I had it 48-47 Cannonier, but I think the 48-47 is important because I think that's way closer to how this fight was than to have all 49-46s from these judges.
You're right. 2 judges had 49-46 Cannonier, which means Strickland only won 1 round, which is wild.
Which one judge had it round 3 for Strickland, the other judge had it round 4 for Strickland.
So they disagree with
They
each
disagree on
other.
which round he even won.
That's bullshit. Like I said, bro, I literally I respect your MMA mind. Like I like your scorecard more than I like the judges' scorecard, even though it's different than mine. I really do mean that. And and then even the judge that gave it 49-46 Strickland, like you mean Cannonier didn't win 2 of those rounds?
And the only round he gave Cannonier was round 4.
Like they're trying to act like Strickland dog walk Cannonier. That did not happen.
Well, how can Cannonier win 4 but not 5 on that card?
Yeah, because I gave Cannonier 5, but not 4.
Right.
So it's bizarre.
It's bizarre.
It's bizarre. Now, this is a fight. So, and people have tried to make this argument about the O'Malley-Yan fight. I think O'Malley lost that fight, but everybody's saying, oh, it's so close that it doesn't really matter. Nobody got robbed. Whatever. That argument does not apply to Patty. This is the definition, or even Uncle I of Yan, I thought was too close, didn't matter, nobody got robbed. This falls into that category. Nobody got robbed. 100% nobody got robbed.
That's why I'm saying Sean Strickland can't be calling it a robbery when it's like this fight literally was like so impossible to score. And he also can't be acting like he's this savage axe murderer and then go out there and not fight for a kill.
I don't know. Sean Strickland has his own style. It's a volume style. It's kind of a Colby Covington with less wrestling type.
I just feel like he wasn't going with mean intent through the first 3 rounds for the most part.
He probably wasn't. Like he fires. He's on he's at like a fucking 79 at all times. Like you know what I'm saying,
though, man.
No, it's not elite. Sean Strickland is not elite.
Yeah. Okay. We agree. But you know
sucks.
what? Cannonier.
I like the dude.
But is Cannonier?
But Cannonier's annoying. Cannonier's annoying because you can't prove that he's not top 3. But
I know. It's his fight style, man. He nullifies everyone and makes them boring because he has crazy power and he's a super athlete. So every dude is scary to really lock it up with him. And his grappling proficiency is good because he's a freak athlete and he's so strong.
Dolidze just got booked against Vettori. Like, I'll be real. I went from hating Dolidze to loving this fucking guy because he's our only shot at shaking up this middleweight division, aside from Hamzat coming over. Which I've already heard Luke Thomas and Matt Mitrione, I believe is who he does his podcast with, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Luke Thomas was suggesting that Cannonier welcome Hamzat to 185, and I'm here for that.
That feels right. That feels right. Number 3 in 170 wants to come up and fight number 3 at 185. That feels, and he's already smoked number 13 at 185. You know what I'm saying, with a 17-second knockout. So that's not even preposterous to propose.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm here for that. But if Cannonier has to fight a 185er, I mean, Whitaker did just have Costa pull out. I know
it's
they
just fought so recently.
It's been a couple of years. It's been like 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a year and a half, right? Didn't they fight in July of 2020 or something like that? Is that right?
I'm just saying. So, I mean,
Yeah,
All right,
October
so
of 2020. So 2 years. It has been 2 years.
would you rather do that,
It's
which
been
is a
5
little
fights.
redundant, or would you rather have Cannonier fight back? He's already beat Brunson. You do Vittori's booked. I mean, Costa's contract complaining. He just fought Strickland. You can't. And Delize's booked. You can't have him fight Hermanson, dude. Cannonier has to fight Whitaker. It has to happen. Or Shemaev.
Well, what if Vittori wins and you get a Cannonier Vittori?
I think that's more mid than both of my suggestions.
You're just going spicy with it, though.
But it makes sense. What you're saying, I guess, makes sense. But I do think it's boring. I do think it's mid. And I think that in a division that needs some splash, you need some splash, Harrison. You need some splash.
It does need fucking something, man. And I
That
can't be seeing Derek
V8
Brunson.
splash.
Like Brunson Hermanson's the fight I want to see next for those two guys because those two guys are boring. Duplessis did have like an interesting showing. Maybe him and Sean Strickland is the next fight up there.
Duplessis Strickland's fun.
Makes sense too.
You could do Duplessis Brunson too. I mean, you could do that.
I think Muniz Brunson's way more fun.
No,
there.
bro, it's whack. I think Muniz is booked against like an unranked guy. It's whack. Hold on, go to his Tapology. Muniz is booked, and it's against somebody he should not be booked against, and it makes me think people are dodging it. I love the Instagram comment. I just forget the post.
Oh, I can't find it.
It's not on Tapology?
Oh, I'm just getting the Tapology right now. I thought it'd be listed on UFC officially, but it's not.
Let me see.
Let's see.
I got it.
Allen.
Brennan Allen. What a waste of Muniz. That's lame. Muniz is a factor in this division. I love Muniz, but he's like telling me otherwise. He's taking fights with Brennan Allen. He wants you to believe, oh, I'm a tough guy, I'll fight anybody. But what I believe is like I'm not a real contender. What the fuck is that? I'm out on Brennan Allen. Like, what the fuck is that, Harrison? Like, real talk. We're Muniz guys. We like Muniz. We believe in his skill set.
I agree with you, man. I think that this is going to be interesting. I also think Imavov Gaslam opening up the year is going to be very telling for like where that goes now and like how the back end starts to shape out. But the middle, I think you can't really go wrong as long as you don't make Cannonier in some bullshit matchup. Like honestly, Cannonier Delize would be super fun if Delize gets past Vittori.
Yes, it would. But you don't care about the Muniz thing. That like shook me to the core, dude. Like I think Muniz can be like a fun option in this division, a tough night, like a matchup nightmare. I'll bet
a lot of guys wouldn't accept that fight.
I think that's what's happening. But fuck, that sucks, dude. That sucks. Like even Muniz Strickland, that's a fight I made event. Let's fucking man, dude. Brennan Allen. I mean, I'm going to bet my fucking rent money on the Muniz in that.
While it does suck, I have to pee super bad, so I'm probably going to have to wrap it up.
Yeah, well, let's wrap it up, bro. It was a fun one, dude. If you're watching on YouTube, check out our other videos. We upload every single fight card. We cover the prelims, the early prelims, every fight, every card. And, yeah, check out our channel. We also on Twitter, @Beefy Breakdown. We appreciate you. Appreciate your time, brother. Fun card, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. Happy 2022 to everyone. And we will have the prime cuts coming up here pretty much right around the same time as the College Football National Playoffs. So, be fun to look forward to. We will see you guys in about 2 weeks. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy